Detroit, Michigan. This is Conversations with Lavish. It's time for us all to come together. Young, old, and everyone in between. Lavish talks about business, news, politics, networking, and anything else that's going on in the world. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Lavish Towing, and on YouTube at Lavish T. Williams. This is Lavish T. Williams.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Today on the show, I got a very interesting topic and conversation. I got an individual who was found to be a dead by default, put on child support for a child that was not his. The courts knew it. DNA tests proved it. And the lady who said he was the father admitted that she wasn't. Today on the show, I got Carnell Alexander. So y'all make and give a warm round of applause for Carnell Alexander.
Good afternoon, y'all. How y'all doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm glad to have you here, man, on the show today.
Glad you invited me and glad to be here.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about this child support issue, dead by default. And how it all started, man. We're going to elaborate. We're going to talk about your story, your discovery, how'd you learn all about this stuff. So here it go, back 1989, was it?
Yes, that's when the child was born.
The child was born in 89. You, I guess, got pulled over for a routine traffic stop, correct?
In 1990. Oh, in 89, well, actually in 88, I went back to prison for a parole violation.
Okay.
So while doing the parole violation, at some point she went down and filed for assistance for her children from the government. And they asked her what was her child's father name, but she said she had to give him my name.
So she gave your name. This was a woman you were dealing with at one point in time. You were dealing with this lady, involved with her, whatnot?
I knew her from the neighborhood, and we actually did have a one-night stand relationship, to where I knew I didn't make a baby with her, but for some reason she felt like while I was incarcerated, she should give them my name as the name to get her assistance. And I'm just guesstimating with that. That's just the way that she reported it in the news.
All right, so now you get pulled over. Police pull you over for this traffic stop. Unbeknown to you, they say, hey, you have a warrant
for child support.
You look up, and I'm sure you like caught off guard because you got the wrong person.
I say, officer, it was the Oak Park police. Actually, I was right at 8 Mile in Hubble, and they got behind me, and I turned over into Detroit because I just came home from prison, and I was trying to get out of Oak Park because I knew I hadn't got my license right, to be honest. And he pulled me over. He said, you got some traffic tickets, and I see here you got a child support warrant. I say, officer, that's kind of impossible because I don't have any children. He said, well, let me do a check, and I'll be right back. And when he came back to the car, he arrested me for child support.
So now you being arrested, I know you were arguing. This wasn't like an easy, okay, it's a misunderstanding.
No, because I had just got out of prison. I had only been home. I came home like May 15th, and I think the date that it was like sometime late in June, the later part of June when they got me. I'm 30 days out of prison. You know I don't want to go back to no precinct, no nothing. I ain't want to see none of that. So I'm like, officer, please, would you understand? You don't have
any children.
And then somebody lied on me. Can I fix it? You know, I'm going down there to fix it, officer, if you give me a chance. He was like, no, you got to go to court. You got to go to jail. And he arrested me.
Wow. And from 1991 until what point was it that you made news media?
2012, I think it was. I was riding down John R. right at State Fair, and the state police pulled me over.
Again. So between 91 and 12, you had no interactions with the child support stuff?
No, I had plenty of interactions.
Oh, you had plenty. Okay. Well, let's not skip. Let's talk about the plenty before we talk about the 2012.
I was arrested like I say, in Oak Park, and then I went down to the court date, and we established a date that she was supposed to come in, and we were, to my knowledge, I thought we were going to fix it, that I wasn't the child's father. They actually allowed her to come in and write off her part of the child support.
All right.
But they wouldn't relinquish the state part. They were saying I still had to pay the state part.
Okay.
So at that point, I wasn't trying to establish no paternity or anything like that. I was just trying to deal with the money part of it in terms of getting it off of me. But I was telling her outside of court, you know, this ain't my child. How can we get this off of me?
All right.
But she never wanted to go through the DNA because the court was saying it was too late.
So when you say the court said it was too late and she didn't want to go through it, would she have made a difference at that time?
Yes, she would.
Okay.
Because even the court was out of their boundaries of what they have on the statute of limitations of the situation.
All right.
They have a 3-year window. At the point that they arrested me in Oak Park, it was like the child was like 2.5 years old. I think I had 6 months because I think he born December the 10th. So that was June. So I think I had like 6 months left in order to contest this. They should have given me a DNA at that point. So now when I do get in touch with her, when they finally get her to come to court and I'm trying to get her to give me this DNA, she didn't want to give it to me and comply because she knew that the court was telling me no. And I think she knew that she was not telling the truth.
All right.
So she was trying to get out of being exposed. This is just my feeling. I can't say that for sure.
But at no point in time did she say this is not the father of my child.
Well, she told him that to get me off of the payment.
Okay.
And I got that paperwork, but I left it at home. I had planned to bring it and see if you wanted to show it to him step by step of how we went through it.
All right.
You know, so as she played with the fact that she didn't want to give me the DNA and playing on the policy of the court, it spilled into 12 years. Now, you know, after child support goes over so many thousands of dollars, it becomes a felony.
All right.
So in 2012 is when I was pulled over on John Iron State Fair, and the felony was in the computer, and the state police was like, you got a felony child support warrant, and I'm like, felony? So I'm like, man, listen, this is not my child. Why won't they believe me?
All right. So
as we went through the process of the courts, I hired an attorney. You want to know his name?
Sure. What's his name?
Todd Russell Perkins.
That's my lawyer.
He gave me to his assistant, David Middleton.
Okay.
We went to court. David started proceeding to get me to pay. And I'm in the court, and I'm telling David, I do not want to pay, David. I want a DNA. This is not my child. They have been taking my income tax. They have been taking my wages out of my checks. I want my money back. This is not my child.
Now, why was he trying to get you to pay? Did he feel like it was easier just to pay it to let it go? I mean, what was his reason?
They were trying to put that 3-year window on me, but they forgetting that last 6 months of that 3-year window was in my favor. So that should give me an option to get a DNA when we find this young lady. Because I keep asking for this young lady so I can get this DNA so we can get this over with.
You have no communication with her?
None.
Okay.
They gave me an address on the street called St. Louis. I'm going there. I'm knocking on the door. Nobody never coming to the door. I don't know if they in there looking out the window and see me and don't want to come to the door, but I'm steady knocking on the door. Then I get arrested again. So now here comes the felony. So now I'm like, hold on. This getting ridiculous. Now you giving me a felony for another man's child. I know this child is not mine. I know it. But nobody seems to want to listen.
Wow. Now here's when I started to pay attention to the story, and I want to play a little glimpse of what happened. I seen it on the news, and I said, wow.
I knew I didn't have a child, so I was kind of blown back.
He told 7 Action News he would later learn this happened because his ex needed help.
I had to turn to welfare to get assistance to take care of them, and I had to put him down as the father. That was the only way I can get assistance.
So she put your name down just to get welfare.
for her children. That
And
was the only way she can get it.
it was just as easy. It was just as easy as just putting a man's name down on this paper saying he's the father, and they went for it.
And truthfully, it's still that easy.
So any woman could say, hey, John Doe is the father of my child. I want to write his name down. And
If you
her
don't-
word is,
if you don't show up in the 3-year window that they have on the policy that this court is enforcing, then you are hooked for that child.
wow.
And in a lot of cases, probably millions of cases, when you find out that you're not the child's father, they want you to continue to pay or continue to stay in that child's life, but they don't want you to be fixed.
What do you mean when you say fixed?
If I'm not the child's father, I think my money should be returned to me and I should be able to go and walk away unscathed, untouched. But that's not the way that the system works. They want to hold on to our money and keep us locked into that because they want to justify them taking the money.
So did you pay any, throughout this time, did you pay any money for
No.
this child?
Willingly, no, but them taking, yes.
Wow.
Well, I used to run the streets prior to probably the first half of the child's life. But like in the beginning, I don't know, I can't think back that far, I'm old now, but whatever year, the year before they started building Ford Field, I started doing construction.
All right.
When I came to the Ford Field project through the labor's union, they started deducting $100 a week.
Did you continue to work?
Yes,
Okay.
I didn't quit.
Okay.
I went down to child support and complained about them taking my money and telling them I wanted a DNA test from this girl. And they would never tell me where she was concrete or get her to court at the same time as me after the first time when they let her relinquish the money because they were still trying to get, I think it was $30,000 to $60,000 or something like that. They were still
Wow.
trying to get this out of me. And I'm like, why would I pay for a child that isn't mine?
That's crazy. Now, what was the issue and why was it so hard for them to get her to court? If they're contacting you, getting money from you, taking money from you, what was the issue with getting her to show up for court?
They wanted me, they gave me an address, like I say, and they had me run into a street called St. Louis. So I guess they wanted me to do their footwork and find her and get her to court for them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay.
That's crazy. You almost went homeless, broke.
Right.
I mean, they taking your money. How much money were they taking out a month? $400.
$400 a month, and then I filed income taxes. They took $4,300. I filed income taxes again. They took $2,800, and I got documentation for all of this. And I filed again. They took $1,500, and they tell me in an office setting, some state office that sends me these checks back for $35.29, $65.77, and $4.81. I have 9 checks that I recently got. So I called the number on the top and I asked them, where's my $32,000 that you all got that I have paperwork showing that you all took? So that particular office tells me they only have $7,100. So my next question to them is, why am I getting a $65 check? I should get a check for $7,100. I shouldn't get a check for $65 from you all if you saying you show records that you took $7,100 from me illegally, because it's not my child. We've proven that.
So this money, at this point, she wrote it off. This money is going back directly to the state, not the woman.
The money that I'm talking about now is coming from the state.
Okay.
The woman wrote her part off.
So you have no dealing with her.
They discontinued to sending her any money, but they telling me in the same breath that I can sue her and get my money back.
Okay. Suing her, that would be more of a civil thing?
I'm not sure. Because my point is, how do I sue somebody who never done anything to me? She told you a lie, you believed the lie, you acted on the lie, you extracted the money. I need to be suing you. I don't need to be suing her.
I mean, well, that's a good attitude to have, because me personally, I want to be mad at her just as well as the state.
I'm mad at her too
for putting me through that.
Yeah,
for putting me through that
I'm definitely
foolishness.
Mad at her. But guess what? As well as they took actions against me, you all take actions against her. She's sitting at home. She don't even stay a mile from me. I stay on Mound, she stay on Van Dyke.
Wow.
I got to ride past her house going east. Anytime I go east, I ride right past her house. Matter of fact, I got a family member that stay on her street. So when I go visit my people, I see her house.
How often do you actually see the lady?
I don't see her.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. I mean, we not enemies. I don't have any malice feelings. I'm a child of God. I work for the Lord. A lot of people think I work with Minister Malik, but God has used him to just guide me, I guess. I don't know. I was a wild soul.
Wow. Now here's something. I guess this is you outside of the courtroom, before going in, possibly facing going to jail because they were trying to lock you up for this child, knowing, hear me out, they were trying to lock you up for this child, knowing that this child is not yours. DNA test showed this child is not this man's, but hey, we're still possibly going to lock this man up, although we know it's not his kid. Man, that's crazy. You want to play this clip?
I'm almost homeless. I'm almost in jail. I'm out of work. My money is being threatened to be taken.
That's crazy.
And at that point, I was actually on unemployment, getting $275 a week, and they were taking the 75 from the two.
Unemployment and still taking money out, man. As a man, how did that make you feel?
I mean, I was horrified because at that point, at one point, it had got so out of control what they're taking that it spilled into the fact of when I had got the DNA test from her. So now I got a DNA test in my hand.
All right.
And I know it ain't my child. It say 0.000% chance of being the father. So now you're still taking my unemployment money and you're giving it to this lady. And I'm showing you in the court, I'm on probation for 5 years due to the...
For this child?
Yes. I got a felony for that through Todd and them.
Wow.
They made me plead to a felony, or either I was going to jail for 4 years through that lawyer's office. And I'm sitting here telling them, this is not my child. Find this lady.
Man.
Listen, I went to a funeral. This is why I say I'm a child of God.
All right.
I went to a funeral, and as I'm walking into the funeral door, her cousin is walking out. I'm on 5 years probation. I'm a registered sex offender. I have paid $4,000 to the Perkins Law Firm to represent me in this case. And I done got all of this stuff put on me. And I'm steady running to the law office saying, listen, help me, man. This is wrong. You give me a couple more thousand, I will. This is what I'm being told by our attorney. One of the best attorneys coming out of college that I had knew, who kept me out of all kind of trouble. But here's a simple child support case that you all are not listening to me. So now we're fighting. We're in the courtroom. I could bring you the transcripts. We're fighting in the courtroom in front of the judge. Because you all are trying to make a deal. I'm trying to get out of this. I have nothing to do with this. I don't know nothing about this. I don't know who child this is. I don't know the father. I don't know why she put me on it. But she told you on Channel 7. I did that because I needed assistance for my kids. And he was the name that came to my mind. And she didn't say it in them terms, but that's what she meant. The first name came to my mind. I gave him that, hey, I just need some assistance for my kids. And then I'm going to tell you something that this system is so fraudulent about, and that's why I tell my brothers now, who I speak to on these issues, that we need to attack the system. The system had the wrong name, and I could prove it. They had Carnell Alexander. That's not my name. See, you glued something all together. The construction company at Ford Field gave them my social security number. See, they had to call a construction company and ask them for Carnell Alexander. That sounds close to Carnell,
Right.
but that's not Carnell. So why would you give out my social security number? So here's the ball. It's rolling now. We finna distract all this man's money, and we gonna make him fight us. Because the burden of proof fell on me. I gotta prove to y'all what y'all already know. What did you just say? Everybody knows this ain't this man's baby.
Right.
Why I gotta prove something to y'all? And I'm still sitting here today in 2021, uncompensated, no money return, and they want me to walk away, and I can't.
So what's the issue and the problem with the money that you gave them?
They say they don't get back money.
We take your money because you're supposed to be the father, but we find out, sorry, sir, sorry for the inconvenience. You're not the father. We're going to dismiss this case, blah, blah, blah. Now, your money, though,
they couldn't even.
We're going to keep that.
Let me tell you what the hurting part was. To make me a sex register in my neighborhood, in my community, the person I am. You said that I'm some type of pervert, and you had no justification for it because I put a lawyer on top of it. Todd and then wouldn't go fix that. I shouldn't have been on that. I had a lawyer go down there and go through every file that I ever got in trouble in my life. And she said, can you please show me where he's supposed to be a registered sex offender?
Now, where did that, because, I mean, this is new. I didn't know anything about it. Where did this sex offender stuff come from?
As a young man, I was in a house with two guys who sexually assaulted a young lady. I walked out of the house. The guys told them that I helped them, which was a natural lie. She gets on the witness stand at the preliminary exam and said he came in the room and seen what they was doing to me, and I said something to him, and he walked out of the room, out of the house. He never touched me. But by me being young, I got put out at 14. I dropped out of school in the 8th grade. I was young and stupid. I just congratulated a cousin of mine for calling me a dummy all my life until I found out that I wasn't a dummy. And I told him, anybody else would want to fight you, but I don't want to fight you. I went and found out why you was calling me a dummy, which I was, because I took a cop to something I didn't do, Lavish, and went to prison. So now they say, at any point in my life, if I catch another felony, I have to register as a sex offender for being in the house with those two guys back in 1984. Wow. So that's where the registered sex offender came from. So that's why I tell a guy, you talking about we about to go have this party with these girls, I'm not going. It's going to be me and her one-on-one. We not getting caught up in no miscommunications, no nothing, because it affects me for the rest of my life if I get implicated in anything like that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't know that. But yeah, that's I'm glad you shared that with me. I mean, you learn something new every day. But back on the child support stuff, right. Yeah, on the child support stuff. When did you switch lawyers? Did you go from Todd to the public, the court-appointed lawyer?
No, I actually went from Todd to Kim Russell's interview in that young lady's kitchen. And after that interview, I had got in a situation on 6 Mile in Southfield where somebody tried to carjack me, long story short. When I went to court for the carjacking and left the court that next morning for carjacking, that lawyer called me, Ms. Jerica Harris.
Now, was that for the carjacking?
No, she called me and said—
for the child support.
She said, I seen your story on the news last night. This was after Kim Russell interviewed me and interviewed the mother, and she made the statement about she did it just to get her kids some assistance. And she said, did the prosecutor's office call you this morning? I say, no. She said, did your probation officer and them call you? I said, no. I said, why would they call me? She said, they should have released you this morning. She said, from what I seen on the news last night, they should have released you. And they still didn't want to release me. After the news story.
Release you from probation?
From everything. She said, I shouldn't have been held accountable for nothing after that lady got on that TV and said, I just put his name down to get my kids some assistance. She said that was enough to clear me. You know it ain't his baby.
But for whatever reason, it
They
didn't.
didn't want it.
It
It
didn't.
still hasn't.
It didn't. Now here's a clip. Is this the same lawyer that you're talking about right here?
Declare him a deadbeat. We take his money, we garnish his wages, we take away his ability to earn a living. That's an illegal taking. That's a violation of his constitutional rights.
That was her.
That's her who
Oh.
stepped in and made them accept the paperwork. And she'll tell you if you call her, she said, Carnell, they think that I did all of this work in your case. I didn't do nothing but take them the same paperwork that you was trying to give them. They just didn't want to accept it from you. And I don't know what that was about. And I tell you this, it's an attorney out here. His last name is Pope. I know he's a member of Reverend Wendell Anthony's congregation. I've seen him there when I visited there. He's one of the deacons over there. I don't know his first name right offhand. It's not in my mind. But however, he steered me to the paperwork of the process server. This is how the whole case revolved into a fraud.
All right.
The process server went to my house in 1989. I think it's May 26th. Knocked on the door supposedly and said he found me there. In 1989, I was at the Michigan Training Unit filing a writ of habeas corpus because they had violated my parole and sent me back to prison for a case that I had already beat. So how could I be at home? So here's all the fraud. And this is what I meant to bring to you today to share with you, to show you how this case got totally frauded against me and nobody still wants to answer for what they done to me. I walk around feeling like I'm a target. I only come out when we do what we do, and you know what we do. When I come out, that's when I come out. Other than that, I feel like you setting me up to make a mistake so you could kill me or something, so I can be quiet. And I love outlets like this. I appreciate you, my brother Lavish, for allowing me a chance to be heard across America, because this is very important, you all. You know, I know it's the Lavish show, and I know, you know, it is for entertainment, but this is very important to the future of our kids. Our young men are targets of this system by this right here. And we wonder why there's so much violence in the street. All of this play a role. These women we looking for, who's missing. How many of these fellas was in my shoes and didn't have the patience, the discipline, the humbleness? It takes a lot to be me, to not go down there and shoot up the building. That's what everybody else do. You know what I'm saying? When it don't go our way, what we do? We lose our mind, we tear up something. But I got the patience to fight. But I need my brothers who arguing with your child's mother, who you really arguing with the system. You not arguing with her. It's working for her. But when she get an understanding that it can work for you all and we can stop losing our kids. A lot of these kids are getting killed simply because there is no balance in their life. The balance is the father. He's being chased out by the system. I ain't working. I ain't messing with her. All she do is complain. I'm gone. But the system gonna help her beat you over the head. And we losing, y'all. It's child support, but it all plays a role.
I guess it's different. I guess, to say the least, it's different levels.
Yeah.
It's different levels to the child support game.
Yeah.
It's different levels to it.
66% on the dollar Lavish. Wouldn't you play with the people too for 66%? Every time you use a dollar, they're gonna give you 66%?
For nothing.
For nothing. You heard what I said on Coco's show, shipping and handling. They get it, they handle it, and they ship it, and we get the money. And y'all fight. Y'all continue to fight. Because that show showed me, man, that women has a concept that we are nothing but cash cows for them because they have a baby. It's a mutual agreement, sweetheart. It truly is. I have nothing against you women who are watching. I have nothing against men raising their children and taking care of their children. But you got to draw a line when we got to be adults for the children. It's about the children. Okay, me and you didn't work. I'm sorry. But can we work for the children? Can we save something? It save us a lot of community service. What we have to do, coming out here looking for guys who just shot up each other about nothing, because his father would have been home. And if the girl's father was home, me and you, we'd know when he stand on the porch and let her get in our car, you better bring her back at 11, brother.
Yeah.
You better bring her back.
I mean, we can definitely say that, and that's for, because I don't want to be unfair.
Right.
That's for the men that want to be fathers
Yes.
to their child. When we also know that we got a lot of men out here that do not want to be fathers to their child. They don't want to have no involvement in their child's life. So what should the woman do?
What should she do?
Yeah. What should she do, seeing that maybe that's her only outlet is to file for child support? Would you consider her being wrong for that?
No, but I would consider her abusing the system to be wrong for it. I mean, I live with a single mother who has 7 sons and 1 daughter. So did she fight with the men she had them babies by? No, she raised her kids. Okay, because see, it's a choice. And like a young lady told me, and I really respect her, and I can't remember her name right now, she said, I had the babies that my pocket can afford. She said, I wasn't thinking about his pocket. I was thinking about my pocket. She said, if I could afford it, I have it. See, and that's the way we need to be. And this is my thing to women and men. You get together and you work together before you make a child together, and then you know that you can work together. But if you know you can't work, if you don't know you can work together, you can't possibly raise a child together.
Yeah, but then, we go back to the beginning of the conversation with the one night stand. Some things just happen.
Right.
Some things just happen. Man, woman get together, one night stand. Next thing you know, 9 months later, she pregnant.
Right.
That wasn't planned. I wasn't even planning on being with you.
Nope.
It was we just had fun that one night, and now it's costing us 18 years. I mean, what's your take on that? For the woman, is it, hey, I told you I ain't want no kid. You got pregnant. It's on you. You take care of it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. How would you rate that?
Being honest with you, brother.
Yeah, truthfully.
In a one night stand is not a lot of conversation. So we not saying whether we want kids or not.
We're not saying we want it, but the kid happened.
Had this young man,
yeah,
and this is just my perspective, been my child from that one night stand, I would have stepped up to the plate. And that's the whole thing about us men. Regardless of what the issue is, bro, you got to take care of your baby. If you made that baby, there's no in between. And then a lot of men blame it on the baby mother why they don't want to do their job. But what it really is you still want her. And you don't know how to put her to the side and continue to do what you're supposed to do for your child. Because I got 2 baby mamas. And out of the 2, one of them I probably still do want. You know what I'm saying? But we can't be together.
All right. So, not to go too far in a different direction in the conversation, the fraud case, the fraud against the fraternity fraud. Speak on that. Because it's for, I guess it's all good for the woman, but it's against the man. It works in one way.
Paternity fraud is what you see of my situation. When I think, and this is me, and this is what I spoke with my legislators that I've spoken with. I've spoken Lansing to the state reps, and I've spoken Lansing to the state senators. So I never did get a chance to go back and speak before the House of Representatives because of COVID. But the child support fraud comes in when a man can prove that he's not the child. They want to have that 3-year window. But if a child is living and you accusing a man of paying such a great bill, which in a case of a child being born to the time they're 18 or 19, I think it's something like $110,000, maybe $120,000 bill. So if you're forcing that man to pay that bill and he can prove that that child isn't his, that's fraud on the government. You're frauding me out of my money because this is not my child. And in my case, the father of this child is known to be in Georgia. but nobody's went after him.
Interesting. How at this point, let me act, I'm trying to word it right. The woman, she's free of anything. She's gone her way. No legal things on the law end as far as trying to charge her.
I take you back to what I said a minute ago. The burden of proof is all on me. Nobody is responsible for nothing but Carnell.
Although, I lied. Cost this man is still, you got to take that up with him. That's a domestic civil suit court, blah, 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 battle. No matter what, they're never going to go back and argue or confront that woman for lying about you being the father and cost you money. They're never going to go back.
They're not after her. They're not after the father. They're not after the process over. Those are the three people that I want to see something done to them in my case. Those are the people that caused me the problem.
All right. Now, speak on this Michigan bill. I'm going to show this clip right here because this is also dealing with you, seeing you have made a lot of headlines about this situation, about this child support stuff.
Michigan does not recognize paternity fraud in the sense that a person who has been found not to be the father is relieved of those obligations.
Yeah, so was he speaking on what you just said?
Exactly. That they do not want to relieve us from the obligation after they determine that we are not the fathers. And why there isn't more men with me speaking on this issue, I don't know. They sitting there accepting it, and we can't accept this because it's a landslide. You know, everything that starts at the top, it slides to the bottom. And if we allow this, our grandkids, our great-grandkids, our great-great-grandkids are at danger. They are at danger of this.
Wow. So you are not the only one that experienced this. How many people since your run, since your battle, since your fight, how many other men out here are dealing with similar situations such as this?
I've had, I can say probably millions.
That we just never heard of.
I've had military bases contact me. Man, we support you. We watching it on internet, da-da-da-da-da. I know friends that I played up and down the basketball court with. We didn't know we all was sharing the same story. I got friends who has DNA tests. I don't know if you've seen the clips that's on the, YouTube with me and the gentleman Reggie Whitlow and the gentleman, the Caucasian gentleman, Anthony Sims. Anthony Sims never slept with the lady. He $90,000 in the hole. Child support took $90,000, and he never slept with this woman. He got a lawsuit. They were at a party or somewhere having fun. She said, I'm going to tell him this your baby. And she did it. And it worked.
Wow. So now they got a bill, a fraud bill that's supposed to be coming out. I'm not sure if it came out, if it was talk, if it was in the development stages. I'm not sure. I want you to hear what this guy is talking about right here. Right here, let me show it.
Well, there was a study done down south for individuals who the mother was applying for assistance. Almost 1/3 were not the father that was named. What happened to Carnell is a prime example. He was not the father of this child, and the mother knew he was not the father's child, so she knowingly made a false allegation. The bill that we have on paternity fraud is that it is a misdemeanor if you are knowingly making a false allegation that this person is the father, because it destroys lives, as Carnell has underwent. We also have a bill that's going to pass tomorrow, and that is to make it perjury for these process servers to lie. What happened in his case was an example that, fortunately, he had the evidence to say that it was a lie. If he didn't have that evidence, he would be owing $130,000 in back child support for a child that is not his because of the mother was not truthful and the process server was not truthful.
Wow, man, you made some headlines in this thing, man. It's been talked about for a while now. What is he pretty much speaking about on this bill? Is it an active bill that's taking place as of today?
It was active when the last administration of government was in office, and unfortunately, Snyder walked out without giving the bill its due process, and he left the bill. So the bill has been broken down. And due to COVID, we have not been able to work together with legislator and reestablish this bill to get it submitted into the new legislation.
So now you're pretty much back at square one.
Right. Fighting all over again because I've been to federal court, and federal court found that I should not be suing all the people that handle my case.
Wow. Now, in the midst of you fighting for this case and it being heard, you walked from downtown Detroit to Lansing.
Yes, sir.
Walked.
Meaning
with your feet.
My feet. 52 years old. Actually, 4 years ago. About 4 years ago.
Now, what was the purpose? Because I just want to know, what was the purpose of walking instead of driving, catching a bus or a train?
I pay homage to our forefathers, our leaders, Dr. Martin Luther King and the Montgomery, Alabama marches, and I figured that that's the only way peaceful that we can be heard, and that's what got us to the point where I made a legislate and do a bipartisan move, and that's how we got to the last clip that you just showed me because of the walk. The walk is what got us to that clip. They called me in the middle of the walk and had me come to Lansing to meet with them and several legislators on the state capitol to discuss the injustice, and they were trying to put a bill together, and they put the bill together, which was Bill 4666. I have a copy of that too, and we were trying to get Snyder and them to sign it, and unfortunately his time in office ran out, and he walked out and didn't sign it.
Man, that's crazy, man. And are you a part of the fight now, currently, with that bill?
I'm spearheading my own fight, but in any collaboration, joint ventures, anything you want, any terminology they want to use, I'm willing to help anybody and share the information that I got, and I should hope that they are willing to help me and share what information we got, because power is in numbers. And for all the people who listening and might want to fight, I've been showing up for 6 years by myself. They will not do anything for me because I'm by myself. If we all join forces, we can get this fixed, and we might stop a lot of things indirectly that we don't even understand that we helping. But I understand because I grew up in the streets and I come from the streets, and I know people. Like I know one gentleman that's in prison, and I'm not going to say no names or mention his case, but a girl lied on him, and he say, as soon as he get out, he's killing her. And I'm smirking because I'm hoping God changed his heart before he come home, because I know him and he'll do it. And see, this is the thing that I'm trying to stop. We do a lot of fighting about child support, and we don't even realize it. The biggest domestic violence situations is about them kids. Something didn't happen between the kids, the mother and the father.
Now, why do you think you don't have more support following you, backing you, so that you can move in numbers, so that it is a group of people, more men, possibly women, that's trying to fight the same fight as you and be heard? Why do you think, or what do you think the problem is?
It's a mental state of mind in which we live in the community of we don't want the message because of who's delivering the message. I think I'd be a little too honest about my background, about who I am, about where I come from, and God sit and they judge that. But God has a way of changing an old little piece of dirt like me.
I mean, your past.
And I'm thankful of it. Okay?
This is what I always tell people. Your past is what defines you. Your past is what made you the person that you are today. It's just what you choose to do with your past. And that's the way I see it.
Right.
That's the way I see it.
If you ain't doing nothing positive with it, it ain't no sense of speaking on it. But I speak on mine because my past is my testimony for my testimony. And my testimony is to help somebody. And if you go and look at what I'm telling you and really look at it and sift through it and understand it, it's something in there that can help you not make the same mistakes that I made. That's all my past is for. It's a roadmap to self, what can I say, self improvement. and I'm daily working to try to do better. I'm daily working to try to help y'all, help us, help somebody some kind of way. And this man can witness that for himself. I do whatever you can ask me. I mean, whatever you ask me, I'm going to try to do it within reason. We ain't going to kill nobody.
No,
that
we
ain't
ain't gonna do that.
That ain't
man.
on my book.
We're not gonna
We gonna
do
go
that.
feed somebody. We gonna go help somebody. We gonna go support somebody. We gonna go do all the positive things in the community. And if we all took a page of that, because Michael Jackson said it, one of the greatest entertainers ever, it's the man in the mirror you got to change, and the world will be a better place.
All right. So with all that in the case, as of today, 2021, when was the case dismissed? When was that? When was the last minus you not getting your money back? When was the case dismissed?
I want to say 214 because I was like 17 months, maybe 213. I was 17 months into the probation, and I got the probation in 2012.
All right, now with that probation that you got for that felony, did they take that off your record?
Yeah, after they took the case back, right.
Okay, good. Congratulations. Good thing on that.
When Mike Cox stepped down from being our attorney general, we got Bill Schuette. Bill Schuette got with Judge Braxton on that turn-in date and told her to dismiss everything, vacate everything that got to do with the case. They vacated everything but the money.
Okay.
They kept that part. But they took the probation back, they took the felony back, let me off all of it, and told me, okay, have a nice day.
Yeah, have a nice day. We got your free money that you ain't never gonna get this money back, buddy. We got your money, man. And are you just taking it as an L?
No.
You
right before the pandemic, I actually had renovated my church, Wings of Love Church here in Detroit, Michigan, 6 Mile and John R. Great pastor Alvin E. Jackson. I had renovated my church to give a men conference to bring awareness about this child support stuff and also try to assemble the men that I need to go to Lansing. We need to go to Lansing, Michigan, here in Michigan, and all over the country, because I know this podcast reaches all over the country, and some of you all are not in Michigan. But whatever state you are in, you need to have state protesters as often as you can on that grass at them doors to tell them to change this unconstitutional, unlawful situation. It is not helping us. And I feel this strongly. If this child support system making 66% off each dollar, off each case, how many cases do we have? Think about that, and then think about the school systems in your community. Think about the recreation systems in your community. How much money are they donating back?
Oh, no, they not donating none of that money back.
How much
so
money?
what are they doing with the money? Do you know?
I heard it's a private entity and don't nobody have any oversee over it. But I haven't found out if that's all true. I'm consistently, it's so much to this. After 6 years, I don't got it all.
Yeah,
and I will never confess to have it all, because every time you turn a corner, it's a different policy.
I mean, you've been through the ringer, man. I want to tell you that. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you was able to share your story with me.
I'm glad you allowed me, brother.
Absolutely. I'm glad you're able to share it to the viewers, whoever may be watching my podcast. I'm glad that they're able to hear it. I want to speak a little bit more about you and what you do outside of the podcast. I mean, outside of the fighting for the child support. You are a member of the, correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus Garvey movement?
Yes,
Black,
sir. Yes,
what is it, the Black Panthers?
Yes, the Marcus Garvey Black Panther movement. And I appreciate you having me on here, brother. And to anybody that need to reach out to the Carnell Alexander Foundation, I do have a foundation where I give DNA tests for anyone who knows that the child is not yours. These tests cost $550. They are legal tests to get you back in the court, to petition the court to release you from the commitment of that situation, because you are not the father. The court does not want you to get this after 3 years, but if you get with my foundation, I will make them accept it, as I did in my case.
All right.
And outside of Okay, we can get back to what you were saying. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I want to hear more about you
In the community.
as a person. Now,
Okay.
we spoke on you with the child support being a dead by default, you paying or having to be forced to pay for a child that's not yours. But outside of that, seeing that you're free and clear, minus, as I say again, they pretty much rob you for your money. Give us more about you.
Okay. Well, I'm a 14-year-old 8th grade dropout. I lost my mother when I was 13. I dropped out of school a year later, and I took to a life of selling drugs throughout the community of Detroit. I was blessed in 1992 to have a son who I did not want to be like me.
A biological son. I want to say that, a biological son.
Here he is on my chest. He's deceased right now. He was killed in a car accident in Detroit. But I changed my life. He changed my life for the person that I am today. I went to school with him from kindergarten through 8th grade because they wanted to put my child on that medicine, and I was not allowing that to happen. I traveled from Detroit to Rockford, Illinois for 2 years because I didn't want him to get in gangs and I wanted him to get his education out there. I sent him out there to go to school. That didn't work, so I brought him back. The last 2 years of his high school, he went to Warrenwood Towers out here on 12 Mile and Hoover. He graduated from there. He got killed a few years later. So a young lady, 11 years old, God rest her soul, God bless her soul, was sexually assaulted in Highland Park, which in turn made me join the Marcus Garvey movement. So here I am today, 6 years later, a community activist. This is where me and you meet. This is where I do now. Focus Hope calls me. They fills the back of my van up. I feed people food. Whoever call me, whoever I see in the gas station, store, wherever, I give you some food. We pass out flyers for missing people, murdered people, rape people. No disrespect to minister or anybody who watching this podcast, but I just don't like shutting down crack houses because I know some good drug dealers. That might sound crazy.
Say that again, I mean.
That might sound crazy to y'all. And let me explain why I say this.
Because you just caught me off. You just caught me off guard with that one. Hold on. Just rewind it back. I want you to rewind that statement back. I want you to repeat that statement, man, because you just threw me off with that one, man.
Listen, I say that you all, and let me explain myself. By me being an 8th grade dropout, not going to high school, missing all that college stuff, watching all this stuff on TV, playing basketball with pro players after I should have played in college with these guys and should have played in the pros, I sent 6 kids to college that has master degrees from selling drugs. I know some friends who have took care of their grandmothers. Pills, medical problems, rent, blah, blah, blah. When stuff didn't go right, I know a lot of good guys that had to turn to a life of drugs. We are not in charge of the drug trade. Now I'm finna blow y'all mind again. We all are in charge of the drug trade. When we pay our tax dollars to the government showed you, and what was it, American Gangster, how Bumpy Johnson and them boys up in New York taught them that bringing dope through the government, through those dead bodies on them planes, was the way to do it. Don't you ever think that they stopped. Because me and you, as a black man, we can't go over in Colombia and set up nothing and get no planes flying black across that water in 2021. Try it. I send you a money order because you're going to the Fed joint. I send you a money order, but the government brings it over here and puts it in our streets. Now, I am a member of the Marcus Garvey New Black Panther, and there was a movie that came out about the Panthers years ago called Panther. Go look at that movie and see when they take the actor Cardine Hardison on the bridge, what do they tell him? We're going to flood the black community with guns and drugs.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
So what do we have, y'all? Look at it for what it really is. And who is the government, y'all? Us, tax dollars. We pay these people. When we go punch our time clock, we pay. We are the government. So let's not get it twisted, y'all. Now, the drug dealers in my neighborhood that's killing, taking them young girls in the house and raping them and all that, you in trouble, buddy. We coming to get you. I'm telling you now. But I gotta, you know what I'm saying, walk light when you do that. Because everybody is not a bad guy doing that. Some of us are forced into that. I got put out at 14. What else was I gonna do? They didn't have no job for me. I didn't know nothing. So they said, hey, we got the bag down the street. I took it. Was I wrong? Yes. I should have stayed in school. And I preach that to children. So don't get nothing I say twist. Really listen to me when I say things, because I say it and it seems like it's off the wall. But it's right there where it need to be.
Okay. All right. You got your view on that. I mean, I don't respect your view on that, because that's your view. You are entitled to that.
Right. I mean, we agree to disagree, brother. I mean, and I know it's probably 1,000 people. Oh, that Negro full of garbage. Get him off your show, Lavish, with that. What he talking about? But it's real. It's what I live. And I'm not asking you to live what I live. I'm just asking you to respect my train of thought, or the way I use it.
Okay.
And it's fair, because we all got a bad person in our family, and we ain't gonna admit that, but I will. I got a brother out here still got his feet in the mud. I talk to him all the time, try to tell him to get him out. But hey, I can't make anybody do anything. Nothing. We can't. But, you know, are you gonna tell that truth? Nah, I don't think so.
So outside of that, now you going looking for missing people.
Yes.
Victims of homicide.
Yes.
All that. Speak on that.
Yes. I enjoy joining the Marcus Garvey movement. I enjoy working with the different community groups, looking for the missing, looking for the murdered, looking for the rapists, looking for the bad meat, the merchants that's out of order, such as the store we have over on Pearton now, where the merchant is out of order. And it hurts my heart, excuse me, to know that we have sold out to the point where a mentally challenged, excuse me, a mentally challenged sister due to a car accident, who I know personally slid down a freeway, can be provoked from the conversation I had with the merchant, provoked to spit at a merchant. She didn't spit on him. He admitted that to me. Spit at a merchant, and then he beat her to the floor. And we have so many of our young brothers who have sold out on us, who supports that merchant because of what their business deals is with him. I got business with a lot of people, but do I get to go over there and beat up mentally challenged women? No. We can't do it. And this is the thing that I like when we get to these type of situations and we have to make those merchants humble themselves. Because all of them think we are a piece of garbage, but they're in our community getting our money.
Right. Anything else you want to share?
No, nothing other than that. I can be reached at the Carnell Alexander page. Right now I have 5,000 people on my page, but I'm working on another page to set it up. And I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I have a website that should be up in the next 60 days. And my personal phone number, if you need any consultation, is 313-939-3447. I'm going to repeat it again, 313-939-3447. And like I say, you can contact me for consultation or knowledge of what I know, or you might want to share some knowledge with me. Contact me either way, and we can put it together, work together, and try to get this thing fixed. because it need to be fixed, because as you can see, our generation coming behind us, and I was born in 64, so they not focusing on the realities of things the way they should, and we need to educate them.
All right, cool. That was Carnell Alexander on the show today. Thank everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next show.
Thank you, brother.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you, brother.